Right. So this is the only Lord Brahma temple in Pushkar, Rajasthan. So Brahmaji is the person who creates this universe and is very important. Similarly, Lord Shiva is very important. And these are all very bona fide devatas who have been given these positions by the Supreme Lord. They are handling different, very important departments. Yes. Now, I'll show you some important modern varieties of Iha Devata. Iha means this world, and Devata means a big person who's respected. So these are some modern Iha Devatas. Just look at people, how they're bowing down in front of these personalities. Now, these personalities are just very ordinary personalities having a post, for some years. But just look at the expression on the people's faces who are worshipping them almost. So the kind of worship that is mentioned in the Vedic scriptures for Lord Ganesh, for Lord Shiva, and Durga Devi. Now people have become atheists. People won't go to temples. People will not offer worship to these bona fide devatas, and now they are forced to offer worship to all these different devatas that are there on the screen right now. Yes. Just look at them. They are ready to touch their feet. So, civilized people were taught by our ancestors, fall at the feet of God, fall at the feet of the deity in the temple. But when people refuse to fall at the feet of deities in the temple, then somehow you can't escape that. Yes, you are dependent for your needs on the great personalities. So Ganesh ji के पैर पड़ो, शंकर जी के पैर पड़ो, श्री कृष्ण भगवान के पैर पड़ो. लेकिन जब हम श्री कृष्ण भगवान की गीता नहीं पढ़ेंगे, श्री कृष्ण के पैर नहीं पढ़ेंगे, तो हमको आशीर्वाद तो किसी न किसी के चाहिए होंगे ना. So then we have to fall at the feet of so many people. Yes. So this is also a popular politician from South India, and this person, that photo, he's doing Sashtang Pranam. He's doing full Sashtang Pranam. And these personalities also kind of accept all this worship. Yes. Here we see another personality, and this person, he wants favors basically. He wants some recognition, wants some favors. So they fall at the feet of all these people. So falling at the feet of people has not stopped, even though people have stopped going to temples. In this picture, especially, the person who's falling at the feet of that another person, you know, the person who is standing is a young boy, and the person who's falling at his feet is an old man. Just see the white hair on his head. तो बूढ़ा व्यक्ति है, वो एक नौजवान व्यक्ति के पैर पड़ रहा है. You know why? Because that नौजवान व्यक्ति has power, and this बूढ़ा व्यक्ति wants power. So in this way, in this world, there will always be people who have to bow down in front of greater personalities. But the Vedic culture tells us, don't fall at the feet of somebody who is important for 2 moments or 2 years or 20 years. Fall at the feet of the Supreme Lord. अरे कृष्ण भगवान सब पूरी सृष्टि चला रहे हैं, सबको खाना खिला रहे हैं, सबको पानी पिला रहे हैं. The seasons keep changing, the sun rises, the moon rises. Everything is happening very automatically in that sense by Krishna's supervision. But we will not offer namaskars to Krishna, and we want to offer namaskars to Iha Devata. That's our problem. So in front of thousands and thousands of people, people, elderly people, fall at the feet of these people. And what is their reward? The reward is just some small amount of power for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, something like that. Not much. And not just politicians. This is, in one cricket match, this is Dhoni, who is a very famous cricketer, and one fan came and fell at his feet. Yes. How can you fall at the feet of a cricketer? What is the special quality of a cricketer? The special quality of a cricketer is he can move his bat in a very special way and he can hit a few sixes. That's it. That is his skill. So for that skill, people are falling at your feet. Just think about it. How foolish people are in Kali Yuga. So we don't have to take the opinions of foolish people in this world so seriously. Sometimes, devotees say, Prabhuji, this person, he says that Krishna is not important. And in my society, there is some person who says that Gita is not important. You have to evaluate. Who is that person who's saying Krishna is not important? What what are his qualities, how important it is, how intelligent he is he sane? If he's somebody who's doing all these Iha Devata worship, he's not a very intelligent person. This is Sachin Tendulkar. In one particular match, one fan just came running onto the pitch and started touching his feet. They want Ashirwad of cricketers, they want Ashirwad of politicians. Why? Because they have stopped worshipping Krishna. जो कृष्ण की पूजा करता है उसको मालूम है किसके पैर पड़ने हैं और किसके पैर नहीं पड़ने हैं. Now, one very interesting thing I want to show you is, anybody knows who's this lady who's there in the picture, who's standing in the picture?
Like Jacqueline.
Yeah, so you know she is Miss Sri Lanka at one point of time. I inquired and somebody told me. So she's very beautiful and she's one of the actresses. Now imagine the person who's getting married is her PA. And on his marriage day, he and his would to be wife are already married. So his wife are falling at the feet of this person. Now, what is the special quality of this person? What is her age? So, Mataji, you mentioned that this is her name. What is her age? What is this actress's age? Any idea?
He must be around 32
30s.
or so.
Okay, 30, let's say. Abhi humko, whoever answered till now, when we were taught by our parents to fall at the feet, were we ever told to fall at the feet of somebody who's 30 years age? Yeah.
No, Prabhuji.
So usually, we were told bado ke pair pado, hai ki nahi?
Elders.
And I still remember when I used to fall at the feet of elderly, my grandmother and all, they would say, "Arey, no, 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 please don't fall at my feet." They would get embarrassed. They would feel, "अरे, मेरा पोता है, मराठीमध्ये म्हणतात नातू आहे. माझा नातू पण माझ्या पाया पडतो तर ते बरोबर नाही वाटत." Our culture tells the younger ones to fall at the feet of elders, and similarly, there is an instruction to the elders to not accept all that. Don't feel that you are important and everyone should touch your feet. I still remember my grandmother would tell me, don't fall at my feet, you fall at the feet of the Supreme Lord. तू परमेश्वराच्या पाया पड, तू माझ्या पाया कशाला पडतोस? And just look at this modern world where somebody whose age is 30 is happily accepting her PA and his wife falling at her feet and is giving them ashirwad or something. There is no resistance. Every simple, beautiful person, every person who hits a few fours and few sixes here and there, and somebody who sits in a temporary post for 5 years after elections feels he is now capable of giving ashirwad. Do you know what it means to give Ashirwad to people? Do you first of all know what is good for people? Because if you don't know what is good for people and you have your own conceptions of what is good for people, you will give Ashirwad of that thing to people. And that thing, if it is not good, it will spoil their lives. So, first, to give Ashirwad to people, first you should know what is the right Ashirwad. First, you should know what is it that will truly benefit people. And if you don't know what will truly benefit people, you should never ever give Ashirwad to people. When people come to you for Ashirwad, you should say, I am empty. I don't have any Ashirwad because I myself am searching for answers. Meanwhile, I can tell you one person who can give you Ashirwad. That is Krishna. आप कृष्ण के पास जाइए. Or you can go to Ganesh. Why? Because Ganesh has written the Gita. Ganesh knows Gita. If you go to Ganesh and you ask him, Ganesh, please give me the best Ashirwad that you have, Ganesh will give you Ashirwad to read the Gita. Ganesh will give you Ashirwad to go close to Krishna. So Siddhivinayak ke paas mein, in Shivaji Park, near Shivaji Park, there is Siddhivinayak temple, and so many people go to Siddhivinayak on Tuesday. But all of them are asking for Siddhivinayak ji, I want this. Siddhivinayak says, okay, Siddhi hai, le lijiye. And Siddhivinayak ji, give me this. If you go to Siddhivinayak and you tell him, Siddhivinayak ji, give me something which, not that I feel the most worthy, which you feel the most worthy. One day you go to Siddhivinayak and you ask this question to Siddhivinayak, what do you feel as the most worthy? I want that. I don't want my conception of worthiness. That day, Siddhivinayak will direct you to the Bhagavad Gita. That day, Siddhivinayak ji will direct you to Lord Krishna. So unfortunately, in the modern world, these kind of false goddesses and false gods have taken over. These false gods and false goddesses have taken over, and that's why Iha Devata, we have to understand it in a proper way. Yes, apart from the politicians, apart from the actresses, apart from the cricketers, there are plenty of self-styled godmen who do not accept the supremacy of Lord Krishna and who themselves say, I am Krishna, I am God. I know of the most popular self-styled godmen. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings because some of you may have some feelings for them. That's why I did not put any single photograph. I know some of the most popular spiritual gurus in India who proclaim publicly that they are Krishna, that they are God. And some of them I have seen pictures with a peacock feather on their head. The only person who puts peacock feather is Krishna. It's not even Lord Narayan. It's not even Lord Vishnu. Even Lord Vishnu does not put the peacock feather on his head. It is only for Krishna. Imagine ordinary people putting peacock feather on his head and trying to show off to foolish people that actually I am Krishna, I am Jagannath, I am Supreme Lord, I am Vittal. So this kind of nonsense has to be stopped, and this can stop only when the propagation of the proper principles of the Bhagavad Gita happens. If we don't speak on the Bhagavad Gita as it is, if we don't present the Bhagavad Gita transparently, then this kind of cheating will continue to happen. So we have to be very careful about this Iha Devata. Worshipping Iha Devatas gives us benefits in this world, but worshipping Krishna gives us benefits eternity. So we have to remember this difference. Okay, now comes a very important shloka for all of us. चातुर्वर्ण्यं मया सृष्टं गुणकर्म विभागशः तस्य कर्तारम् अपि मां विद्य कर्तारमव्ययम्. So please see the translation. According to the three modes of material nature, guna, and the work associated with them, karma, the four divisions of human society are created by me. And although I am the creator of the system, you should know that I am yet the non doer, being unchangeable. So here the concept that is coming up is Varnashram. And Varnashram is a concept that is so debatable in the modern world, and people hate this word called Varnashram. Now, the most interesting thing that I want to all of you to note in this shloka, please mark this. It is that the divisions, the organization of society, the four divisions of society, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra, is done by Krishna based on two words that are mentioned in the second line of the shloka. It is guna karma. According to a person's guna and according to a person's karma, somebody is decided as he's a Brahman, he's a Kshatriya, he's a Vaishya, or he's a Shudra. It is not Janma Karma Vibhagasha. So Janma Karma Vibhagasha मतलब जन्म से जो ब्राह्मण फैमिली में पैदा हुआ है वो ब्राह्मण है, जन्म से जो क्षत्रिय परिवार में जन्म लिया है वो क्षत्रिय है. But this is NOT bold, not spoken by Krishna. So please do not have false conceptions about Janma Karma Vibhagasha. That needs to be highlighted. It is Guna Karma Vibhagasha. So Varnashram typically has two sides to it. One is called Daivi Varnashram. Daivi Varnashram means it follows the definition of Varnashram given by Krishna in the Gita, which is called Guna Karma Vibhakasha. And then there is one called as Asuri Varnashram. Asuri Varnashram comes from the word Asura, Rakshasi Varnashram. What is that Rakshasi Varnashram? Rakshasi Varnashram is based on Janma Karma Vibhagasha. And lot of nonsense things have happened in India based on this Asuri Varnashram. People have been discriminated based on their birth. And that whole mess that was created by a few greedy people, by a few power hungry people, that whole blame goes on Krishna. कि कृष्ण भगवान ने ये वर्णाश्रम बनाया है और ये वर्णाश्रम के वजह से लोगों में भेदभाव हुआ है. But my dear friends, I'll again go back to that slide. What Krishna mentions is you can open your own copy of the Gita and you will see Guna Karma Vibhagasha. Please, please, please understand this point. If anybody argues with you saying that why there's discrimination in society, you have to mention this. It is not Janma Karma Vibhagasha, it is Guna Karma Vibhagasha. So if somebody has qualities of a leader, then he's given a leadership position. If somebody has the qualities of a doctor, then he is encouraged for medical education. If somebody has qualities of being a good painter, then he is given that training. So my question to all of you is what that you have fever tonight and enter a hospital and you see doctors taking care of the cleaning in the hospital, ward boys and nurses acting as a security at the entry gate, and the lift man with his stethoscope around his neck is inspecting patients while in the lift. Anybody would like to mention how will you feel if you observe this kind of a hospital?
It's quite epic, Prabhuji.
It is quite
It is quite scary, no?
it's scary. Yes.
You think it's a mental
I don't
hospital?
mind. I don't mind seeing doctors cleaning, but I don't want to see a liftman inspecting me, no.
Yeah, so it's crazy and it's unbelievable and it is unsafe. It is definitely unsafe. Yeah. Okay. So Pankaj Prabhu, is it possible for you to mute? So in this way, any hospital you go and it is in a mess, you will feel scared to go there. Mm. So organization is very critical for success. In any company, in any hospital, in any school, any educational institution, there is organization. There is a principal, there is an HOD, there are teachers, and then there are students. There is a CEO, there is a sales head, there is a marketing head, sometimes there's a country head, there is an international head, and then there are zonal heads. How can you run an organization without having a hierarchy? How can you run a hospital where the duties of the doctors and the staff and the liftman is not defined? So places where we have seen organization, a hospital definitely has organization, an education institution has organization, your own office, your own business, there's a chairman, CEO, MD, manager, area manager. The government of India has organization. There's a prime minister, minister, secretary, assistants. Any media house, there is an editor in chief, there is assistant editors, there is correspondents. Any other example some of you want to give for a very successful place to have an organization?
Own kitchen, Prabhuji.
Yeah, own kitchen, very good. Thank you. Any other place? What about our thousands of people who keep listening to this class but they never speak a single word? I see so many people are attending the class and never speak a single word during the whole class. So I'm requesting all those who don't speak, kindly speak a few words. Are you there?
Prabhuji, this is Sujata Pathare. Can I give one example
Yeah.
totally different
Sure, sure.
about organization?
Yeah.
Because this is
Yes.
something that we have learned in embryology, that when an
Yes.
embryo is formed, there are certain chemicals, proteins basically, which are present in certain proportion in the embryo. Where their concentration is high, the brain is formed. Where the concentration
Wow.
is low, the tail is formed. So, because of
Wow.
this organization of the protein, the body is formed in a specific way, and head and tail end are defined. And when this
Thank you.
organization goes, this is very
Yeah.
important. When we disturb the protein structure or the organization of this molecule and the concentration, the embryo does not develop properly.
Wow. Amazing.
So that is how
Beautiful.
in the nature the organization is there.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm really grateful to you for this. Thank you so much. So, hospital, body, education institution, office, anywhere there is some success. some things are going properly, there has to be organization. So as Dhanashri Mataji pointed out, I have a slide. Whether at home, yes, do you have this dabba at your home while cooking? All the spices?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, okay, so I'm right. Yeah, so even for the spices for good cooking, you need all these dabbas. Or at office, you have proper, everything has to be there. Yes, organization.
5G.
Yeah, yeah. So,
ये बात है. Yes.
yeah. Dhanashri Mataji, muting.
Sorry.
Yeah. So organization is must. Hmm. Similarly, my dear friends, the embryo needs organization, the school needs organization, the company needs organization, the kitchen needs organization. Does the society also need to be organized? Of course. If the society is not organized, there will be chaos. Yes. So the example that is given here, just like the human body, the head is important. The head does the thinking. The hands are important. The hands does all the protecting. The belly is important. The belly manufactures energy, which goes to the whole body. And the legs do all the traveling work. Vishwesh, you need to mute yourself. Similarly, if you compare this human body to a social body, then the social body, there has to be an intellectual class who's intelligent. There has to be an administrative class, which is the protective class. There has to be a mercantile class, which earns all the money, which is like energy production. And there has to be a productive class. Yes. Without this, the society will not move. Imagine a society which does not have hands. Imagine a society, imagine a person who does not have hands. Some of his functions are impaired. Imagine somebody who does not have legs. Some of the functions are impaired. Imagine somebody who does not have good digestion system, so energy is not produced in his body. He will have certain limitations. Similarly, a society that does not have a balance of intelligent people, administrative people, mercantile people, and productive people will have problems. So Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra is not a caste. It is not Janma Karma Vibhagasha. It is Guna Karma Vibhagasha. So in any society, you need four kinds of people. There are some people who are visionary people. They are thinkers. You can't expect them to work, but they keep thinking and they keep coming with ideas. Like Steve Jobs, he's a visionary person. They thought about the future. And there are people who protect those who are the visionary people. So there are all these very high-fi security guards who protect the Prime Minister of India, who protect the President of America. They are very intelligent, but their intelligence is not on planning. Their intelligence is basically for protecting those who are planners. And there has to be somebody who's very good at managing things, or he's like the financier. He gets things done. And then there is somebody who executes whatever is being planned. If there is no visionary, if there is no vision, what will you finance? What will you execute? And what will you protect? Okay, on the other hand, you have a visionary person, but he does not have a protection. So somebody who is not very happy with the visionary person just shoots him down. And one visionary person is lost from this world. What a big loss. Okay, you have a visionary person and you have a very nice person who protects that visionary person, but there is nobody to give money. There is nobody to finance that vision. Vision has to be implemented. Vision has to actually work out, given a shape. So the financial is important. Now you have a visionary, you have somebody who protects the visionary, you have somebody who finances, but there is nobody willing to work. There is nobody who's actually willing to do what is necessary. You have a failure in all four cases. So who amongst these four is less important? Would anybody like to speak?
Everybody.
No one, Prabhuji.
That's the
Everybody is
point. That's the
important.
point. Yes. So all of us should speak this line. All of us, I want you to speak this line. There is nobody in these four who is any less important than the other one. All four are super critical. All four are super important. And when these four work together, oh, that is a society that you can really see success. When in the human body, the head is a good thinker, the arms are strong to protect, and the belly has good digestion and gives very nice energy, and the legs are strong that can do work for you, the human body will do wonders. लेकिन किसी के हाथ स्ट्रांग नहीं है, किसी का डाइजेशन स्ट्रांग नहीं है, किसी को पैर नहीं है, किसी somebody is crazy, he does not have a brain here, he cannot think, उसको कुछ काम बोलेंगे तो कुछ तो गलत ही करेगा. Good hands, good belly and good legs, you will have to tell him, बेटा तुम इधर ही बैठे रहो, कुछ काम मत करो. तुमको कुछ काम देंगे तो हमेशा तुम बिगाड़ते हो काम को. So the 6 duties of a Brahman, what are they? It is not to rule over society. The 6 duties of a Brahman is Yajan, Yajan, Pathan, Pathan, Dan, and Pratigraha. Yajan means worshipping. Yajan means teach others to worship. Pathan means study. Pathan means help others to study. Dana means he should always be of a charitable nature. And Pratigraha means he should accept charity. It means he should live his life based on charity. He should never ever ask for a salary. A Brahman cannot ask for a salary, because as soon as you ask for a salary, you become obliged to the person who gives you a salary, and then you lose your independence. You cannot give him good advice. So Dana means he gives his advice very charitably. He gives his time very charitably, but he does not have much money. And money he accepts. So when somebody gives a donation to a Brahman, he accepts that donation. That's how a Brahman lives. So if you check the Ramayana, if you check the Mahabharata, it is always once upon a time there was a poor Brahman. Dhanashri Mataji, you need to mute. It's always mentioned you come across a poor Brahman. There is never a rich Brahman. Why? Because he lives a simple life. He spends most of his time studying and reading and guiding. That is the duties of a Brahman. What are the duties of a Kshatriya? The same duties which Krishna mentioned. Krishna mentioned Paritranaya Sadhunam Vinashaya cha Dushkritam. Dharma Raksha and Adharma Nash. Both have to be there. So check all the big kings. Rana Pratap, Shivaji Maharaj, Prithviraj Chauhan. They did Dharma Raksha and they did Adharma Nash. Both have to be there. What are the duties of a Vaishya? They are primarily traders. They could trade in grains or they could trade in gold. But their primary duties is Vanijya. Vanijya means business. They generate money. They do Krishi, agriculture, and they have to take care of cows. They have to take care of non-human dependents. So, Kautilya is Chanakya Pandit. Chanakya Pandit himself is a Brahman, but he has written a book called Arthashastra. Arthashastra means the way of managing finances in such a way that it leads to the improvement of society. So why is a Brahman writing a book which is useful for Vaishyas? Why? Because without money, the Brahmanas cannot live. Without money, Shivaji Maharaj, if he did not have money, how will he protect Dharma? So all four are dependent on all four, and nobody is superior. So it's very interesting that a Brahman like Chanakya has written a book on wealth management. And that's why this is very important for us to understand. Nobody in Varnashram system is superior, nobody is inferior. How did the Britishers first come to India? Anybody knows?
business.
It's
Yeah, the
Sir, merchants.
Yes.
East
So
India
they said,
Company.
yes, you said it,
Still a
you
company.
said it. You said it, you're right. They came as the East India Company and they said, अरे हम थोड़ी ना राज करने के लिए आए हैं. We have just come to trade with you. We are simple traders. And slowly, with their money, they Dhanashri Mataji muting. They slowly, with their money, they started ruling us. And for a good number of years, they stole all the riches from our country. So when you don't have good Vaishyas, when you don't have good traders, then false traders come and they say we are traders, and then actually they're Kshatriyas, and they just start shooting you. So who are Vaishyas not important? Then why did Chanakya write that book? Then why did the East India Company rule over India? So Brahmanas are important. Kings like Shivaji Maharaj are important. Good Vaishyas are important. And then also the Shudras are important. Why? Because they are the ones who will serve society in a very sincere way. And I put this picture here not to look down upon these people. In today's times, in COVID times, I remember reading thousands of articles where people were saying the healthcare workers and the cleanliness workers, they are the most important people in COVID times. Have you heard anything like this? Have you read anything like this?
Prabhuji.
Did you read anything like this?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, Prabhuji.
So people who maintain the cleanliness of Bombay, are they not important? Because if they don't take care of the cleanliness of Bombay, we will all be down with COVID. So who can say that this person is not important? It's very foolish. And I have this picture of this king. This king is King Pratap Rudra. King Pratap Rudra was the ruler of Orissa. And every year when Jagannath Rath Yatra happens, then the king of Orissa, even today, comes out with a broom and he sweeps the street for the pleasure of Lord Jagannath before his Rath Yatra. So if the king is also ready to take a broom in his hand, why do some people feel that the broom handlers or the cleanliness people are not important? It means there is something wrong with them. They don't have a clear conception. So it's very important for all of us to understand Varnashram is not about Janma Karma, it is about Guna Karma. So now we are comparing these four people, the Brahmanas to the visionary people, proper Kshatriya kings to be protectors, the Vaishyas to be financiers, and then so many others who are the executors. And now we'll just change those names and we'll call them Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. Now, as soon as I use the word Shudra, some people become uncomfortable. But if I use the word executor, then it looks very nice. It's just a question of terminology. I'm not attached to the terminology, but I want all of you to understand these concepts. In proper Varnashram society, which is based on Daivi Varnashram, not on Asuri Varnashram, all four classes were highly respected. Nobody looked down upon each other. But when Daivi Varnashram changed into Asuri Varnashram, then the Brahmana said, we are Brahman just because we are born in a Brahman family. We are Kshatriyas because we are born in a Kshatriya family. And that is where all the trouble started. We in ISKCON are not in favor of Asuri Varnashram. We don't believe that a doctor's son becomes a doctor just because he's born in a doctor's family. We don't believe that a lawyer's son becomes a lawyer just because he's born in a lawyer's family. We believe that a lawyer's son has to go to a law college to become a lawyer. We believe that a doctor's son has to go to the medical college and become a good doctor and prove his own right. We believe that an engineer's son, the mother and the father are engineer, but still the son has to go to an engineering college and become an engineer. Similarly, the mother is a Brahman, the father is a Brahman, but still the son has to become a Brahman by his guna and karma as per the Bhagavad Gita. The next shloka, which is last shloka for discussion today, Krishna is saying, Namam karmani limpanti name karma phale spriha iti mam yo bhijanati karma bhir nasabadhyate. There is no work that affects me, nor do I aspire for the fruits of action. One who understands this truth about me also does not become entangled in the fruitive reactions of work. So what is limpanti? Limpanti matlab when we plaster something on the wall, that is in Sanskrit called limpanti. So usually, people plaster their wall with some cow dung or something, that is called limpanti. So Krishna says, when I do some actions, that action does not stick to me. So there is no karma for me. I don't have any karma, good karma, bad karma. Good karma, bad karma concepts are for you and me. They are not for Krishna. This is what Krishna is mentioning. So in our lives also, we have these post-it notes. And these post-it notes, they don't stick on oily surfaces. They can stick on the wall. They can stick on the refrigerator or something. Similarly, the karma principle does not stick to the selfless Lord Krishna. Anyone amongst us who is a selfless person, the karma principle does not apply to you to the extent to which you are selfless. लेकिन हम लोग जब selfish रहते हैं तो जरूर karma principle हमको apply करेगा. Okay. Now I also have this example of this Velcro strips which work together. They won't work independently. So similarly, karma principle works only with desire for enjoying fruit. So if you have your actions and you have desire for enjoying fruits, मैं जो भी करूंगा ना उसके फल मुझे चाहिए. I won't do it selflessly. Then these two Velcro strips, they stick to each other, and that is how the karma principle works. But if Krishna is selfless, then the karma principle does not apply for him. So we'll stop here, and if anybody has any questions related to today's slides, then we can take a few questions. Anybody has any questions?
My question was about the story that you shared about Rukmini passing the letter to Lord Krishna.
Yeah,
Okay, it
yeah.
was just a very, very minor question. Since she was not imprisoned, but she was, in captive. She was captive. So who helped her pass the letter to Lord Krishna? How did she manage it? Just curious.
That's a nice question. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was a very dependable, trustworthy Brahmin, and she said, "This Brahmin, please take this letter, and you are the only person whom I can trust." Mostly the palace guards who were very brave, but they were sold out to her elder brother. So if the elder brother would have come to know that my daughter, my sister
Okay.
is sending this letter to somebody else, he would have probably been super harsh on him. So she cannot trust any of those palace guards. So she found hold of one trustworthy Brahmin, and the Brahmin traveled from Amravati in Maharashtra to Dwarka in Gujarat and gave that letter to Krishna. And then carried back that assurance from Krishna. Krishna told Rukmini, "Don't worry, I'll come at the right time and do the needful."
Thank
So sometimes some acharyas give this analogy that the spiritual master, our guru, they compare you and me, the living entities, to be like Rukmini, and we are trapped by our false ego, Rukmi, who says, you cannot go close to Krishna, you cannot go close to Krishna. And the spiritual master is like that Brahman, a trustworthy Brahman who carries your letter from you to Krishna. So the guru is that person who acts as a link between the living entity and Krishna. So the living entity falls in love with Krishna. Then the living entity wants to send a personal letter to Krishna. Then the living entity hands the letter to the Guru, and the Guru carries that letter on the behalf of the living entity to Krishna. And Krishna says, "Yes, yes, very soon I will come and save you." Okay.
you.
Any other question? Thank you. Any other
Prabhuji, I
question?
had a question.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, you said that Krishna is the only one who has a peacock feather on his head, right?
Yes.
There's no other god or any other person who has
Yeah,
that. What is that
yeah.
one significance of the peacock feather? Why is it so important? There must be some story behind it, I'm sure.
Yeah, there is a story. Near Govardhan Hill, there is a place where one time Krishna and Balaram went there, and all the peacocks there, they were just so happy to see Krishna and Balaram. They started dancing. So there are just so many peacocks there. They're all dancing very beautifully, just for the pleasure of Krishna and Balaram. And Krishna and Balaram, seeing that, they said, "We also want to dance," because Krishna, I mentioned, is he reciprocates. He cannot restrict himself. He cannot prevent himself from reciprocating. So all the peacocks are dancing very beautifully, and Krishna and Balaram also start dancing beautifully. Over a period of time, some of the peacocks, they get fatigued, they get exhausted, and they stop. But some of the peacocks are still dancing, and Krishna and Balaram are still dancing. Goes on and on and on and on, and both are doing for each other, and this reciprocation is going on. Finally, the best of the peacocks, the king of the peacocks, also stops dancing. He's also exhausted, he's tired. And Krishna and Balaram are just going on dancing and dancing for the peacock's pleasure. Finally, Balaram also stops. But Krishna is still dancing and dancing and dancing, and he's saying, "These peacocks are so nice. These peacocks want to offer their dance for my pleasure. I want to reciprocate with them." And just out of a feeling of gratitude, Krishna continued. Finally, all the peacocks are thinking, "How long will this go?" And, our most lovable person is getting exhausted. There's streams of sweat coming. And so they request Balram, we can't stop Krishna, but you are his brother. Kindly go and stop Krishna. So Balaram goes to Krishna and says, they will be happy if you stop, because they're concerned about you. They're concerned that you're sweating so much. And so Krishna, in his mood of reciprocating with the peacocks, he just went on dancing and dancing, and finally they had to tell him to stop. So seeing this extraordinary mood of Krishna, how Krishna is so reciprocative, all the peacocks, they requested the king of peacocks please offer something from our side permanently to Krishna. And the king of peacocks, he looked around. He does not have gems. He does not have pearls. He does not have gold. He does not have money. What does he have? The most beautiful part of peacock's body is his feather. So the king of all the peacocks, as the peacocks were dancing, there were so many peacocks lying all around. Jhad gaya na wo. The king of peacocks took the best peacock feather out of all these peacock feathers and took that peacock feather and offered it to Krishna. He said, "We are just floored by your sweet mood of reciprocation." And Krishna was so grateful for that one peacock feather. Krishna said, "From today onwards, as a symbol of my gratitude to all of you, you love me so much. This peacock feather financially has a value of what? 1 rupee, 2 rupees? Today, when you go to some rural place in India, there are small boys selling peacock feather. अरे ले लो 1 रुपया 2 रुपये में आज भी peacock feather मिलता है. But Krishna took that peacock feather, which is financially worth 1 rupee or 2 rupee, and said, "But this is the symbol of your love for me. From today onwards, I'm going to wear this peacock feather on the top of my head, and my shringar, my dressing, is incomplete without this peacock feather. You'll never ever see a picture of Krishna without that peacock feather." So Krishna wants to tell to the whole world, I'm a very grateful person. If somebody does something for me, I never ever forget it. That person may forget it. अरे हमने कृष्णा के लिए कभी कुछ किया था, but कृष्ण भगवान कभी नहीं. So that peacock feather is Krishna's reciprocation for those peacocks.
प्रभु जी
Thank you.
Beautiful
Any
story,
question?
प्रभु जी हरि बोल
Prabhuji. Such a beautiful
Yeah,
story. So all
yeah.
surrender
Pankaj,
unto me,
yeah.
I reward them accordingly.
Yes, 4.11.
Yes.
Yes, Pankaj Prabhu.
प्रभु जी I want to understand like how does one identify his guna and karma like when in the modern education system or work that we do in the outside world, it may be contrary to our actual existential nature. So is there a way to identify what is your actual guna and karma and where do you actually fit?
Right. This is a very important question and it needs a lot of discussion, which we will do. But in the 8 minutes that I have, the counter is ticking, or probably 5 minutes. So, what I have to offer is when you're all alone, when there is nobody around you, what do you like to do? In the most alone times, not in happy times. In happy times, the happiness overpowers us. In sad times, sadness overpowers us. जब दुखी हैं तो दुख का सागर आ जाता है, जब खुश हैं तो खुश का सागर आ जाता है. I mentioned when you're all alone, you're not happy, not something extraordinary has happened today. Both ways, not in a happy sense, not in a sad sense. When you're all alone, how, how do you like to spend your time? So some of us will read. I really find when I'm all alone, when there's nobody around me, I find shelter in books. Some of you could say, Prabhuji, I like music. When I'm all alone, I just switch on music, and that's where I find shelter. Some of you will say, Prabhuji, I like to do some planning of my life. Abhi, 2 years from now, I will be 50. 2 years from now, 10 years from now, I'll be 40. That time, how will I manage my finances? My earnings will stop. So this kind of financial planning, family planning, or organizational planning, if you're leading a company, something like that. So if you're into a planning, then you are like that. And sometimes you say, तो मैं जब अकेला रहता हूँ ना मैं तो पूरे घर को साफ कर देता हूँ. It could be a female, it could be a male. So this is something that comes from inside. This is not something that comes from outside. What are you most prone? What are you most prone to doing when you are all alone? You have time at your disposal and there is nobody to guide you. खुद से आपको क्या करना अच्छा लगता है? Do you like to spend time with books? Then you have that Brahman kind of an inclination. I'm not saying you're a Brahman, but you're a Brahman kind of inclination. That inclination needs to be fanned. There are a lot of things to learn to become a good Brahman. If you're one of those planners, strategizers, you're always forming a strategy for your kitchen, you're forming a strategy for your office, you're forming a strategy for your own health. सुबह मैं योगा करूंगा, शाम को प्राणायाम करूंगा, any kind of strategizing, then you have a kshatriya kind of an inclination. And that kshatriya inclination needs to be fanned to become a good kshatriya. If you are somebody who's already interested in money, kahan invest karo, this stocks, that mutual fund, and lot of money is going into that, lot of time is going into that, then you have a primarily a Vaishya kind of a mentality. And then that needs to be fine to understand a proper Vaishya properly. And you are into doing things. You are somebody who says, Baate kam, kaam jada. You are that type of a person. Then you have that kind of a mood, which is very good, which is very important. If everyone just keeps on participating in meetings, and meetings, and then there is no execution of what is discussed in those meetings, it's a waste of time. The meetings are waste of time. So sometimes it happens in companies. सब लोग मीटिंग में बड़े बड़े ओपिनियन देते हैं, बाद में मीटिंग खत्म हो जाने के बाद सब ठंडा. That's also not good. So depending on how you find shelter when you're all alone, you can identify your nature, and then lot of things have to be done in that direction to become a perfect Brahman, a perfect Kshatriya, a perfect Vaishya, a perfect Shudra.
Prabhuji, in most of the books, Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada mostly says that in this Kali Yuga, everyone is a Shudra. So I want to understand this context of his sentence.
Yeah, primarily because the whole culture has been destroyed. The primary inclination is not usually much of planning, but yes, we have so many people. See, in a very general way, yes, proper samskaras are not there, proper culture is not there. Even though you're born in a good family, but if the culture around you is useless, then you may not be able to fan that spark. So a spark is a spark. If you pour water on the spark gets extinguished. And if there is a spark and you fan that spark, then that spark becomes into a blazing fire. So all of us have a spark. That spark needs to be fanned. But if we don't fan that spark, then we are what we are. तो बाजू की सोसाइटी जो हमको सिखाएगी वो सीख जाएंगे. That is primarily what is going on around. Not much planning. अरे सोचो छोड़ो प्लानिंग वगैरह कुछ करना नहीं है, किताबें पढ़नी नहीं है, जो मन में आया वो कीजिए. Follow your heart. Do whatever you like to do. So read what you like to read. You read nonsense also. People read nonsense also. Watch what you want to watch. People watch nonsense also. Speak what you like to speak. People speak nonsense also. No, culture means don't speak nonsense. Don't read nonsense. Don't watch nonsense. Don't hear nonsense. That is culture. So it needs fanning of that inclination. It needs fanning of the spark.
Prabhuji, thank you.
Thank you. So I'm grateful to all of you for participating in this discussion. If any one of you has any questions, you can send me on personal chat and probably it will benefit all others during next time's discussion. Thank you so much. Jai Shri Radha Gopinath Bhagwan ki Jai. Jai Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki Jai. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki Jai. Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.
Prabhuji.
Thank you. I'm grateful to all of you for participating.